Hold on. Jules, we live, Jules.
Oh,
Jules,
yeah. Oh.
Jules on damn TikTok.
He'll appear.
Tell Jules, get off TikTok and get over here.
Everybody get over here to YouTube.
Hello.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well, you see, King, I got more than one delinquent friend. You thought you were the only one? No, baby. Baby, I got America's Most Wanted has been my friend since I was a child, baby. You ain't the only one, baby. I got Latin Kings too.
That's a
Now you understand why we vibe so much and people hate it? Because I know real when I see it.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, everybody, we live on YouTube right now. Everybody go to YouTube.
Hey, Miss Linda, how you doing, love?
Hi, my baby. How are you, gorgeous? Alex, you got a light behind you. Try to. There's a light behind you.
Oh, hold on.
Like move the camera. We can't see you now. You gotta look. Shit, King can't be the only fine motherfucker up on here.
Excuse me. What about
King?
chopped liver? Okay.
Yeah, well, honey. Well, you know, hello. Yeah, now you're too dark, Alex. Now you're way too dark. You know that light right now. There you go. A little better, yeah. Well, them girls got to see you now, baby. Now you ain't gonna take them for their money no more.
What?
You ain't gonna take no females' money now. You got to make money.
No, man, I don't do that no more, man.
That's right.
That's bad karma.
That's why you're on here. You got to wake these females up.
Yeah.
And gay people, because gay people be sending money too, honey. Trust me.
Well, they send the most money.
Oh, okay. That's because we got disposable income, baby.
Oh.
We got disposable. We ain't got no kids. We got dogs. We got little dogs and cats.
But you know what the crazy part is? Sometimes you don't even have to ask for money.
Well, that's what you need to put these females up on game.
You know what I mean?
Look at King. King's trying to get people over here from TikTok.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let the chat grow so you can explain what happened, and because I can't see the comments. Only Amber can see the comments. Let me check my other phone and see what's going on.
I can't even see the comments. What you on you're on a phone, huh?
Right, but I got another phone that I'm gonna open up and see. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna get Andrew's phone. This is Andrew's phone. I've had his phone. Yeah, I've had his phone on for about 2 years. I still pay for his phone like he was out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
For about 2 years, I still pay for his phone like he was out.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I put it on mute and I can see. This whole got 2-pack on it.
Girl, I've been looking like this since 4:30 a.m.
Child,
We have a topic tonight. We shall do.
Yep, Amber is looking fine as usual. Hey, Jules. Hi, Lambelinda.
So we have a special guest on here tonight. Good evening. What's up? How y'all doing tonight? That's right, only 7 likes, 21 people watching. Come on, like the live. We would very highly appreciate that. What flavor are you smoking on there, Jules? What's your flavor?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
This is what you need, Jules.
Thank you. Over here from TikTok.
Why is it freezing?
What?
Amber, you see that comment?
Yeah. Did you tell her? Did you tell that lady that?
Hell no. She said, I needed this because he told me if I don't give money and share my location on my iPhone, he wasn't going to deal with me. I didn't do it. She talking about her husband in jail.
I thought she meant you. I'm like, what?
On the gang, you hear me? Hey, y'all, we live on TikTok. I appreciate on YouTube. I need all 100 of y'all to get over there to YouTube right now, y'all. Come on, let's go.
Look, they're talking about is Amber here tonight. Everybody loves Amber, honey. It's the voice. It's the voice.
Show up when she want to show up.
Well, she needs to show up.
Look at this nigga right here, Angel, talking about did you eat ass in prison? Same way. Don't block him, y'all. We need all the trolls' views. We need them.
I didn't eat no ass. They ate my ass.
I'm on TikTok, Juice.
Oh.
Click the link in my bio, y'all. That's the YouTube link. Click the link in my bio. Go to the YouTube channel right now.
Linda.
And Drill say, I didn't get the money. Facts. Click the link in my bio. We live on YouTube right now, man. Y'all get over there. I just seen Emma in the fucking comments over here on TikTok.
Oh, you did?
Tell them to get her behind over here.
She's coming around.
We love the trolls on this side.
We love them.
Please.
Your watch hour.
We love them. It makes the chat interesting. We good with it.
Yeah, it really does.
This chat over here gonna attack your ass. You get here over here talking shit. Let's go.
We got two killers. We got two killers, a beautiful girl and a queen, honey.
I gotta go.
That's right.
Come over here if you want to. Come get some of this.
YouTube channel.
Girl got Sims.
Appreciate y'all.
Honey.
That's what time
we got two killers, a queen, and a beautiful woman. Come on.
Aaron, what's up, my
Lady
dad? So,
hey, Aaron.
We're gonna get him introduced here in a minute. We're just trying to get.
Oh, look at Aaron. Aaron said, just got here, but damn, who's that? But see what I told you, Alex? You see what I told you? But damn, who's that? Okay. Shit, that's King's twin, honey. One is a Crip and one is a King. Latin King. What?
Yeah, lady, I agree with you.
He said, hey, Alex. She said, hey, babes.
Hey, I never ever mess with that girl, but I'm about to learn just because of you. We love you too, girl. I have fun on here. I told Jay I like it because I feel like I'm just chilling. I'm just kicking it with the family. It's different. It's a different vibe than TikTok, you know?
Yeah, we can say all kinds of shit.
You see that comment?
What?
Heaven Bound said, Alex, fine.
And I'm an old man.
Oh, please.
What the fuck? She said, looking like a Chipotle bag.
That's so funny.
Oh, not the Chipotle.
You know they give you extra meat in Chipotle now. Apparently, that's what they said. All you gotta do is give. All they said, you gotta give them. Well, that's what the president said. The president, listen. The president of Chipotle said, all you gotta do is give the look, and you get extra meat. So I'm gonna get the look. I always want extra meat.
You gonna look at him crazy?
Hell yeah, I always want extra meat.
Period.
Anyway, let's go, y'all. Let's get this shit going, man.
Let's go.
Let's
so,
go.
Jules,
I was just looking
would you
at
like to do our introduction?
Oh, I loved it. It's fabulous.
No, I said, would you like to do the introduction of Alex?
Okay. So Alex has been one of my dearest friends since we were 13, 14 years old. We used to kick it, vibe. He worked for my family. My family owned a restaurant in Hialeah. And that's how I met Alex, because he worked for my family for like a couple months. And then, of course, you know, being Alex, he stopped working, but we were vibing. So we kept.
No. But hold on. Say the truth. I didn't stop working. When you saw me, you said, no. You're not working here no more. Come on. I need to talk to you.
That's, well, you know, the vampire in me. So we started hanging. We started kicking it. And I started to show Alex the other side of life, you know, like, I know you're a thug, but there's finer things in life. There's better things out there. And we started vibing, and I showed him, you know, how the other half live. And, you know, Alex decided to eventually do his stuff and started to do criminal activity with forgeries and checks. And you tell him, Alex, tell him how you got roped off. What happened?
It was actually by accident, to be honest, because I had a debit card, and somebody had paid me with a check, and I deposited the check. So I went the next day and I withdrew the money, but a couple of weeks later the check bounced. Remember, this was in 2000 something, late 90s or something like that. The banking system was different then than now. Now you deposit a check and they know if it's bad or good in a couple of seconds. Before, it would take them weeks because they'd have to send the check to the other bank to verify it. By that time, you already took the money out. So I took out the money, and 3 weeks later, I find out that the check is no good. The bank calls me and tells me, hey, this check bounced. So I hung up on the teller, and I sat back in my bed, and I said, I was thinking to myself, well, how was I able to get the money if the check wasn't good? If the check, bounced and it was no good, I was still able to get the money. So I said, hold on a second. I called a friend of mine who was always broke, and I told him, listen, I need you to do me a favor. Don't ask me no questions. Give me your ATM card. I'm going to give you back $200 or $300. And he's like, oh, man, I would appreciate it because I'm really broke. So the guy gives me his ATM card. And I grabbed some old checks that I had from somewhere or something. I think they were my mom's. I don't know whose it was. So I wrote out a check for a certain amount, deposited in my account. The next day, I was able to take out the money again. So I said, oh, I'm never working again. So,
hold on, so you took the money out and then they let you take it out again?
It was a different card.
Yeah, the banking system. Listen, King, the banking system back then, it was back then. It was like it's not as fast as now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can check out yourself back then.
Right. But
literally,
me and him used to do it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is, I said to myself, so there was a bank that was called SunTrust. I don't know if it's around. There's like 2 or 3 around. There was a bank that was called SunTrust. So that specific bank would let you withdraw $800 every 24 hours.
What?
Every 24 hours you can withdraw $800. So what I did was I would find people that were broke, that needed money, and I would tell them to give me their ATM cards, and I would give them $200 or $300.
Yeah, he used to. Sometimes he would even go with a motorcycle helmet on, so they wouldn't recognize his face. You know what I'm saying?
At the time, I was riding motorcycles, so I would use a motorcycle helmet so the camera would never catch my face. So to make a long story short, there was a point in that scam that my job became to only go to the bank. And now here's the craziest part. So I'm going to give you an example. I would go at 11:30 or 11, right before an hour before 12. And I had between 8 or 10, 12 cards, sometimes even more. So I would have to sit there and put in card by card and withdraw 800. So, and I would only have to give the people that loaned me their cards $200 or $300. So I was making $500 per card. It got to a point where I was making so much money that I was like tired of going to the banks and withdrawing money because it was so much. Everybody was coming to me, yo, I heard you do this and blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Right, and then they report the card stolen, and they get their money back.
And they get their money back. That's the good thing.
And they get him as to be the downfall guy. You know what I'm saying? He's the one taking the risk. So it became a business back in the day.
So it became that's what there were times that I would make $10,000 a day.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You hit that motherfucker.
They caught up. it caught up to him. Eventually, I was telling them, I think I told them yesterday, a little bit of the story. Then when the cops actually kind of like started to pinpoint him, they started to figure out who his girlfriend was. And they started to get on his girlfriend's behind, like try to tell her to rat on him. And he got tired of it, and he sent a video to the cops.
Hold on, don't get ahead. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay, well, you tell them the story.
Yeah.
So what happens is I'm doing my own scams on my own. I always, all my crimes, I usually do them solo. Because if you do a crime solo, you ain't got no co-defendant. You ain't got nobody to testify against you.
Facts.
So all the crimes that I've ever done, I've always done them solo. So I was doing excellent with that money, man. Me and Jules, something had happened that we fell off. So he had gone his way and I had gone my way. We weren't even speaking for a couple of years.
I became a drug dealer, remember?
Right. You got into
we didn't fall off. I started another business.
No. But we kind of fell off because we didn't talk for a while.
Well, you're busy taking money. I'm busy making it too.
Right. So what happens is I was cool with what I was doing. You know what I mean? I was making excellent money. My job was I had an apartment in South Beach facing the water. I had a brand new BMW, a brand new motorcycle. I would switch them every 6 months. I would buy me a brand new Rolex. Whenever I would get tired of it, I would give it to one of my friends. I would spend whatever I needed to spend because the next day I'm making it again. So it's like I lost the value of money. Now here's the crazy part. The reason why I told you why I would go at 11:30. I would go at 11:30 because let's say I had 10 cards. I would do the 10 cards before 12 midnight. Now here's the catch. At 12:02, 12:01, it's another day. So I wouldn't leave. I would just sit in the car smoking a joint with the AC kicking and wait for it to be another day. So I just withdrew a couple of minutes ago, 10 grand. At 12:02, I'm withdrawing another 10 grand because this is another day. So how much did I just make by sitting in my car in 30 minutes?
It became addicting to him.
It became super, super addicting.
Let me ask you something. You wasn't never thinking about getting caught, was you?
Well, there was no way to get caught because they couldn't see my face unless somebody that gave me one of the checks or one of the ATM cards ratted on me. That's probably the only way. But they wouldn't rat on me because they would be an accomplice to the crime also because they're
reporting it stolen.
Yeah. How do I get your PIN number if you don't give it to me? It's not in their best interest. And they knew I was pretty hardcore. You know what I mean? They're not going to snitch on me. Because it was business. I would break them off, and they were fine with their $200 or $300 because they were super broke. And then those people started finding me other people, and it became a chain. You know what I mean? It got so crazy that I mean, it was super madness, and I was fine with it, and I was cool. I was living in South Beach. I was eating the best and doing everything, living my best life. What happens to me is I was riding my motorcycle and I went to Wet Willie's. There's a spot on South Beach. It's called Wet Willie's. It's old school. A lot of people used to go there with bikes back then.
Wait, Tiffany, he can't just go right in and tell us how he got caught.
Oh, how I got caught. You want me to tell you?
Don't just finish telling the story. They're trying to get the end. We want to hear the whole story.
Okay, so what happens is, let me tell you how I got caught. Okay, so I got to tell you this part. So you don't understand, for everybody to understand how I got caught.
Yeah.
So what happens is I meet this female in Wet Willie's. She has a motorcycle just like me. She's super beautiful, super banging body. I mean, a little bit older than me, more mature than me. And basically she finagled me. She had heard about me and knew what I was doing. And she pulled up on me and she was like, look, I know you do this and that, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to make more money than what you're making? And I said, there's no possible way to make more money than what I'm making. You know what I mean? I'm making 10, 20 grand every 2 days. So she's like, no. hook up with me and you can make more than that. And that was the biggest mistake of my life. You know what I mean? Hooking up with her, because she worked for a famous financial company that I'm not going to name because they're still here, and the guy's friends with presidents and everything, and so she worked for them as an accountant. So to make a long story short, she would give me I had two people working for me, her and the secretary. At the time, this is a part that I didn't mention, I was also posing as a police officer with a full uniform, full badge, radio, gun, lingo, everything. I studied it before I went into this character, because I figured out if you go to a bank dressed as a cop, they're not even going to question you. And that's exactly what happened. So basically what happened was I hooked up with this female. She would give me the checks for $300,000 for an account coming from an account that she had control of, that she would make sure that it wasn't going to get audited. So it was a ghost account, but it had millions in it.
Damn.
So every couple of weeks we would hit them up for like 200,000, 100,000, 50,000. So how I would do it was, she would give me the check. I would put on my full uniform, and I would pull up to a bank, and I would get in line. And man, people are so fucking gullible, man. It's incredible. I would pull up to a bank, and the tellers themselves would see me, and they would say, "Hey, officer, you don't have to stand in line. Come to the back."
Now, mind you, King, he's a gangster, but he learned from me how to have manners, how to speak properly, how to be a gentleman when it comes to being a gentleman.
How to be
You
a
know what I'm
human.
saying? You have to switch. You have to be a chameleon. You know what I'm saying?
So I would walk into the bank, and the ladies would automatically come back here. You don't have to wait. Do you want a little bit of cafecito, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, that'll work. I need it for work, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, what can I help you with? And I will be like, I'm buying a house. I need to cash a check. And they will be like, perfect. Give me the check and your ID. So I would give them the check and the ID. When they would see the amounts, they would look at me kind of weird. And they would say, well, you have to see the manager for this if you want to cash out. And they would call the manager, and the manager would take me to the office. I would sit in the office with the manager. Now, the secretary of the company is on my payroll. My girlfriend is the accountant. So the bank manager verifies the check that is good, bam, 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 calls the company. The secretary is already ready for the call. She's ready already. As soon as the bank calls, she's the one that's going to pick up the call. Hey, this is bank. I need to speak to the accountant department. Boom, she knows to transfer the call to my girlfriend. So when my girlfriend picks up the phone, accounting, she's the head accountant. So the bank would simply ask her, hey, did you guys give this person this check? And she would say, yes. That's it. And the bank manager would hang up the phone and would simply ask me, sir, how do you want your money? And I would tell him in hundreds and fifties is fine.
Hundreds, blue faces.
Simple as that, bro.
Baby, they weren't blue back then. They were big heads.
Yeah,
they were big heads. They weren't blue yet.
So we were doing this for a while, bro, and we made a bunch of money. But what happens is there's this stupid idiot, bro, that works in the company, that works at night cleaning. And I don't know, bro, I think it was just meant to happen. You know what I mean? The dude steals a check. He can't pay his rent. And he's some poor guy that cannot pay his rent. You know what I mean? If I would have known he was going to do this, I would have gave him $10,000. So the guy goes into the checkbook, he steals a check from the same account that me and my girlfriend are spamming off. So he goes to the bank. So he writes it out for a petty $300 or $400. Puts some bogus signature on it, and tries to go to the bank and cash it. And they catch him and tell him, no, this is not the signature, And they take the check from him and they send him back to the company. The company fires him. immediately the boss tells everybody, I want every account in this company audited. So about 3 days later, like 10 dudes came in suits and ties from Tallahassee. It was an auditing company. So they audited all the check. They audited all the accounts. And I'm just hanging out somewhere having a drink. My girlfriend calls me on the phone and she tells me, listen, there's about 10 dudes here with suits. I have no idea who they are, but I think we need to go to plan B. So I told her, wait a little while and find out what it is. And she's like, she started crying, you know. She's like, no, I already know what it is. They're going to find out, well, what's going on. You know what I mean? So to make a long story short, they found out what was going on. You know, the FBI, they called in the FBI. And
mind you, he's going into the bank now with his face. You know, he's no more. It wasn't the helmet anymore. So now
Right.
they can identify him.
right,
You know what I mean?
They had my full face. So make a long story short, they went straight to her, put her in handcuffs, put her in an office, and told her, we don't want you. We want the cop.
They want the police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, him, the one that was acting like a police officer.
Because they
He
don't
ain't no
know.
cop.
They don't know.
They
about-
wanted the Latin King, baby. They wanted the Latin King.
Actual cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was a fake cop. They didn't know that yet. They hadn't figured that out, that part yet. So they told her, we don't want you. We want the cop. You know what I mean? So she's like, you know, well, I think I need a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're under arrest. Blah, 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 blah. So she goes to jail, and she calls me, and before she goes to jail and before she gets arrested, she calls me. She tells me, hey, they're coming into my office, and I don't have time to talk to you. I think I'm going to get arrested. If you don't hear from me in 20 minutes, do what you need to do. So I was like, all right, and I watched the time, and 20 minutes went by, and boom, and she didn't call me, so I knew it was on. You know what I mean? And I said, shit. And so me and her used to go eat breakfast across the street in a little cafeteria every morning for like a year. So the FBI went across the street, went to the nearby places with my picture, showing my picture, asking the people around the neighborhood if they'd ever seen me around there before. It just so happens that they go to this cafeteria, and this little old lady says, yeah, he's a young, good-looking guy that comes with a motorcycle to pick up a blonde girl that I think works across the street, and they eat breakfast together every morning.
Oh, shit.
So they already knew that she, you know what I mean? So they went back to her and they told her, look, and I guess they put down on her and everything. So she gave me up. She gave my name and told them who I was and everything, all my information. By that time, I had already packed a couple of stuff, and I had left, and I had rented a spot, and I stayed for a couple of days. I stayed for a couple of days, and nothing happens, you know. So I go back to my apartment in the beach, and everything is cool, and nobody's, you know. I had a lawyer. I paid a lawyer to call the FBI to see if there was any ongoing investigation against me, and they lied. They said, no, we're not investigating your client. So they were lying, you know what I mean? So what happens is I go back to my apartment, and it was like around 6:30. So I go to sleep because I'm tired, and I'm asleep, and I fall asleep. Make a long story short, I wake up to my computer. I always had my computer on. Back then it was America Online, and the beepers. And the what?
That's funny. It was AOL. That's right.
Yeah, it was America Online. And when you had a mail from somebody, it would say you have mail and all that shit. And then I had a StarTech, the cell phone, and the beeper. So all that shit is going off at one time, ringing off the hook. The beeper's going off the hook. And I roll over my bed and I pick up the phone, and it's my mom. And I'm like, "What happened, Mom?" And she's like, "You stupid fucking asshole. What the fuck have you done? The FBI's over here in the house and blah, 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 and this and that. And they know where you live and blah, 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 blah." And she's like, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Turn on the TV." And man, I turn on the TV and it's every channel. Every channel, every channel, every channel. I'm on every channel. But let me go back. What gets me put on TV? So I pack all my shit and I leave and I go to a homeboy's house who was out of town. This other dude comes through the apartment to pick something up and I give it to him and he gives me like a half an ounce of coke. And he tells me, "Hey, hold this. I'll be back to get it later because where I'm going, I don't want to have it on me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't even use that hardly, so it's all good." And I'm sitting there like this, thinking, and I'm like, "Damn, man. They're bothering my friends. They're bothering my family. They're bothering everybody." And the worst thing I did, because I was smoking weed at the time, chain smoking, but I took a couple of bumps. And this was pure. And that was the worst thing I did. Because that just boosted up my ego. So I said to myself, hold on, there's got to be a way where I can send the people that are investigating me, the lead investigator. Oh, because the lead investigator went and talked to my mom and told my mom, "Listen, tell your son that it's personal between me and him. This is my card. It's personal between me and him." So that kind of upset me, especially when I was on coke. I needed to get a message to this dude. But there's no way to get a message to him because if I do, I get arrested. So I kick back in the couch and I'm just thinking and thinking and thinking and smoking and I say, boom, I got it. Man, and all of a sudden, I pull out my camera, I put it on the tripod, I put on a Scully, I put on a jacket, and I grab my Glock and I put it on the table. And I press record on the camera. And so I start talking and I'm like, "Look, I know you guys are looking for me. My name is so-and-so. You already know who I am. Stop."
Hold on, you recorded yourself?
Yeah, back in the days when you had to put the little camcorder on. There was no recording on the phone. We're talking back in the days, King.
Yeah,
you had to have a camcorder.
So I turn on the camcorder and I start talking mad shit because I'm high as hell, man. You know, I don't normally do coke, so I decided to do it that time because I was stressed out, and it made me even more fucked up. So I'm talking shit. Fuck you. Come get me. Forget about my family and my friends.
Catch me if you can.
No. Forget about my family and my friends. I did it. Every crime that you guys want to charge me with, I'm the one that did it. I'm the one that did it, and basically just catch me if you can. You know?
Taunting their ass.
So
like a fool. Fool with a fool.
So I showed my gun, and I said, "If you guys come and get me, you know, I got this. You know, I'm not hesitant to use it. I'm not going to prison." You know what I mean? So I got on my motorcycle the next day, and I drove to West Palm Beach, and I dropped the tape off in the post office, addressed to this FBI agent. And that's when I went to sleep a couple of days later in my apartment, and my mom calls me and tells me, "You're a lunatic. What did you do?" So they're playing the tape on TV.
Mind you, my friends, all my gay friends are calling me, telling me, because we used to call him a different name. We used to call him, what we used to call you? It was a different name. You had a different name. What was it?
Chichi.
Chichi. We used to call him Chichi. "Oh my God, Chichi's on the TV." I said, "What?" Yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
My mom calls me and tells me I'm on every channel, blah, 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 and I'm watching myself on TV, and they're marijuana smoking bandit. There's law enforcement to catch him if they can.
They're playing him on TV. They're playing the video that he's playing on TV on the news.
They're playing the video, and they're making me seem like I'm super armed and dangerous and this and that, blah, 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 blah. And
you know the media.
So I got up from my bed when I'm seeing this, and I opened my front door. and these gay dudes that lived on top of on the third floor of the building that I lived yelled at me, "Get the fuck out of here, dude! You're all over the news. We don't want you to get caught." And
We don't want you to get caught.
I'm like, "Yo, I appreciate that, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm gone." And they're like, "Do you need anything?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good, bro." So I packed up like 90 grand cash that I had. I packed up a couple of other things in a backpack. I grabbed my helmet. I got on my bike. I took off. I went to a hotel. I checked in with my helmet on. I told them, "Listen, I told them my helmet got locked. The helmet is locked. I cannot lock it." And the guy was like, "Don't worry about it." So he never saw my face.
I wonder who checked you in.
Right. So so I check into the hotel, and I'm flabbergasted because I'm on every channel. Power 96 is doing polls. When do you think to catch me if you can or get caught, and this and that. And I mean, it's every day, you know, it's every day constantly. And I was like, man, so to make a long story short, Julio and his friends completely transformed me. They made me, you explain it a little bit.
Okay, so he calls me, right? And I happened to be working at a hotel, and I was the night auditor of a hotel. So part of my job as a night auditor was to call other hotels every night to find out what the rack rate is, okay? And when you do this every night, I would meet the other people on the phone, and you know me, I'm a friendly motherfucker. So every time I call these people every day, I'm making relationships. So when Alex calls me, I call another hotel, which I won't name the name, and I tell the guy, "Listen, I need a room for the night. I'm going to pay for it. And I need a back entrance. And don't ask me why. I'm going to check in, but I need the back entrance door opened." So Alex came over to the hotel I was working at. And then in the morning, I drove him into the back entrance with the helmet on, took him upstairs so he can have one last peaceful night. So I figured out what to do with him. So at that point,
So
we had a friend of ours. Huh?
You was harboring a fugitive, wasn't you?
Yeah, he was a fugitive. Yeah. And at that point, I had, but you know, I'm ride or die.
Hold on.
You know I'm the police, right, Jules? You know I'm a law enforcement, right?
What?
You know I'm I'm a police officer, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
So let me
Listen, the
second.
statutes of limitations are way past that. If we're talking about over 15 years ago, the only thing you can catch me now is murder, and I ain't killed a motherfucker yet. So listen. So then one of my gay friends, who she was a drag queen that used to pump silicone, which is, God rest her soul, her boyfriend killed her. That's another story.
Damn.
But she was a really cool person, and she knew Alex, and she knew me and Alex since we were 14 years old, because we used to chill. And she calls me, she's like, "You have him there in the hotel?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know what to do with him." She said, "Bring him to my house." I got it. Bring him to my house. So we went over to her house, and me and her went out in the morning to down here there's like these stores where you buy like stuff, like, how do I say it? Like hermana, you buy stuff to sew, right? So we got foam, the foam that they put on the couches, like this thick. Yeah. And she made him a clump suit. Remember how the clumps? Remember Eddie Murphy and the fat suit?
Hold on, she made him a fat boy suit?
Fat boy suit, right. We put a clump suit on him. Then we went to a surgical supply store, because remember, drag queens are very creative people. They really are. They know makeup. Yeah. They know makeup. So we went to a surgical supply store.
It's a whole Netflix movie.
Listen, I told you this shit gets good. So we went to a surgical supply store, right? And we bought like a nose thing, like when you do your nose, when you get a nose job done, right? Yeah. And we bought bandages and shit, and we bought him a little wig, like a little man wig. And she basically did his eyes, like if he got punched or beat up or did a nose job, all kinds of shit. And we made him a fat suit, so we changed his physique. You know what I'm saying? And we put I'll never forget, it was a Panthers. I think was it a Panthers suit on you? Like if you were a hockey player.
Yeah.
And once we put him in the Panther suit, we drove him to the airport. I got off with him, purchased a ticket, and then I put him on an airplane literally put him on an airplane, and since he was bandaged up, they let him board first. So I put him on the airplane, sent him away to New York, went back to his mother's house and said, well, listen, I did what I can for your son. I put him on a plane.
You ain't giving away with this shit through TSA like that no more.
No, exactly. That's why I'm trying to tell you. This is back when the banking system was fucked up, when it was easy to do crime. It was easy to do crime back then.
Yeah. Like Jules, hold on, but let me tell you why he has to do the suit and everything. Because what happens is, okay, so they sent me to New York.
Right.
So when I'm in New York, I'm with my mom's ex-boyfriend who hid me in his apartment up there in the Bronx. And the king's up there. I had a king in the door at the outside of the door to make sure that nobody would come in that wasn't supposed to. Basically, the building was owned by the kings. It was a king building. It was none but Latin kings in the building. So I was super, super safe there. And my sister, my older sister, I have two. My younger sister calls me on the phone crying. It was my older sister. She was dating this dude that was a dispatch for some police department, and he was feeding her information. So she calls me and she's crying on the phone, and I'm like, why are you crying? And she's like, because they're gonna profile you on America's Most Wanted. I was like, what do you mean they're gonna profile me on America's Most Wanted? She's like, yeah, watch. So remember back then, it was
Adam Walsh. It was Adam Walsh on America's Most Wanted.
John Walsh.
Oh, John, yeah, John, Adam, whatever, you know.
No, Adam was the son that was murdered.
So well, I knew it was a Walsh.
What happened is what was I at?
Jelly called you and was crying.
So my sister calls me crying, telling me they're gonna profile me in America's Most Wanted. And back then, the show Cops was on 8:30, and America's Most Wanted came on at 9. So she's crying, bawling, and everything, and I don't believe this, bro. You know, I'm thinking this chick is losing it. Where did she get this from? You know, she told me where she got the info from, but I still don't believe this. So, bro, you know, I'm sitting in the bed, and all of a sudden, you know, I turn on the TV, man, and America's Most Wanted comes on, and it starts. And I shit you not, bro. The first thing this dude says is, and tonight we have a very special case out of South Florida.
Well, that's how we started our show tonight, baby. And tonight we have a very special guest.
John Walsh said, John Walsh traveled to South Beach, and he's got a little jacket on with the wind blowing in his hair.
Not the wind, Alex. Not the wind.
And he's in South Beach, and he's talking about, we need your help desperately to catch this marijuana smoking bandit who has
marijuana smoking bandit.
Yeah, because I was smoking marijuana.
That sounds like you, King. That sounds like you. That could be you.
I ain't smoked weed in about 5-6 years.
Yeah, but you sure take a lot of gummies, fucker.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
Hey, so basically, my sister told me they're gonna profile me, you know. And when I turned on the show, I was flabbergasted. I for once in my life, I was really speechless. I didn't know what to say because I'm literally watching myself. They got somebody to portray me that looked like me, living the fast life in a bunch of cars and scamming people and all sorts of crazy shit.
Like the reenactments they used to do.
Yeah. Like So he was like, we need to get this guy off the street. He's dangerous. And also he has connections.
You know the news. The news gotta make it better than what it is. Look what we're living in now.
I was on there, so I know.
This dude was talking about, man, this man has connections with different organizations, with
lying,
with this and that, blah 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 blah. He needs to be off the street. So once I saw that, man, I felt totally defeated, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? All the courage went out of. I felt my soul leave my body. You know what I mean? Because I was like, you know, one thing is to be wanted locally, but once you're on the news
worldwide,
man, it's
you couldn't hide nowhere you wanted to.
So
they knew he wasn't in Hialeah no more.
So
They knew he wasn't in Hialeah.
So I put on a Scully, and I put on this other mask that they use in New York when it's cold, so they can't see your face. And I walked into this bodega to buy something to drink, like at 1 a.m, and the Dominican dudes that own the store were talking about me, bro. They were like, "Man, that dude is crazy, blah 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 blah, but he's got some balls." And blah 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 blah. And I left the store, bro, without even the shit that I went to get. I got spooked. So make a long story short, this is how I got caught. I didn't actually get caught. What happened was I said, okay, I had $150,000 cash on me, $150,000. Plus, I had a person in Miami that was holding another almost 220 at the time. So what happens is, I say, I'm not, this is crazy. I'm just, I don't know, man. And then I get a call from my mom crying. And I had made the decision to cross the border into Canada. My homeboys were going to give me fake IDs and everything, and they were going to get me on a bus, and I was going to go to Canada and stay in Canada. And my mom calls me at the last minute when I was headed to the bus. And my mom starts crying, and she tells me, "Don't leave. I'm afraid I'm never going to see you again, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Come back, turn yourself in. You got enough money to get a good attorney. You didn't kill nobody. You know what I mean? You didn't murder nobody, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It can be fixed." So I felt bad for my mom, and I just said, fuck it. Let me find a way to get back. Let me see if I can try to make it back without getting caught. So I came back, and I made it to my mom's house, and there was surveillance in the house 24 hours. But I managed to make it to the backyard like at 3 a.m, literally crawling on the wall and on the floor to get in so they wouldn't see me. So I knocked on the door, and when my mom opened up, she freaked out. And she was like, "Oh my God, you made it." Well, so I stayed in the house for about 2 or 3 weeks. I stayed in my mom's house.
Tell them how they figured out. Tell them how they figured out that your mom was what she was doing.
Well, no, they didn't. Well, it was they didn't know that. They didn't know that because what happened? He thinks that I got caught because my mom was buying weed for me. Because my mom would
imagine an old Cuban lady going to buy weed. Once they followed her, they figured out he was in the house. That woman don't smoke.
So hold on, but that's not what happened though. That's not how I got caught. It so happens. Listen, so it so happens that next door to my house, my mom's sister lived there with this dude. So the cops came to my mom's house, and I jumped the fence in the back and hid in my aunt's house, who I'm thinking I'm safe because this is my aunt. You know what I mean? My family, my blood. So I hid in her house for a little while until the cops left again. They searched my mom's house to make sure I wasn't there, and they left. And I jumped the fence back and went back to my mom's house. The next day, I'm laying in my bed, and it was, man, I can still remember the time and everything. It was like 10:30 in the morning. So my mom goes outside. I fire up a joint immediately. The first thing I do in the morning is fire up a joint before I do anything. So I fired up a joint, and I'm smoking in my room. And my mom goes outside to get the mail, to get the mail in the mailbox. Man, but when she goes outside, I say to myself, what the fuck, man? She's taking too long. And I just felt something real weird, a real vibe. And I said, man, something ain't right. And all of a sudden I hear my mom yell, "Whatever you do, don't hurt him. He's not armed." And my fucking room door comes off the hinges, and it's the FBI SWAT team with fucking AR-15s pointed at me. "Pena, keep your hands where they are. Don't fucking move them, or we'll leave you right where you are. Blah 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 blah. So, boom. They take me into custody. They let me put on my clothes because I was in boxers. And the special agent that I had sent the video to finally pulls up to the scene, and he comes up to me and he says, "It's a pleasure to meet the man who was brazen enough to send me a video." And he was like, "You thought we wouldn't catch you, right?" And I said, "Well, you fucked up in sending that video. If you wouldn't have sent that video, you would have been all right." And I said, "Well, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I want a lawyer." And he's like, "It's all good. You know what I mean?" And so to make a long story short, they handcuffed me. I had to go through like 7 different police departments. I had charges in Kansas. I had to they had to take me to 7 different police departments to process me and to give me their arrest forms and to formally charge me. So the FBI agent was like, "Look, these cops want to beat the fuck out of you, bro. I'm going to give you my word. We're going to do this, and I'm going to be right next to you the whole way so nobody touches you. My job is to catch you." Oh, because he was part of the fugitive
Task force.
Called the Fugitive Violent Task Force. These motherfuckers are specialists of finding fugitives. Mm-hmm. So the dude is like, takes me to all these departments, bro. And every time I walk into every department, there's fucking cops lined up, bro. Mean mugging me, telling me, "You fucking pussy, this and that. You're lucky we didn't catch you. We would have put one in your head and put a fucking gun in your hand, and this and that, and blah, blah, blah." And the FBI agent's like, "Look, shut the fuck up and leave this kid alone. He's got enough issues as it is." You know what I mean? And they were like, "Fuck him, blah, blah." Boom. So I had to go to like 7 different police departments. By the time I was done, I had 122 felonies.
Yeah.
He had more than Trump, baby. 3 times more than Trump.
I had 122 felonies. First degree and second degree.
How much time did you get?
Say it again?
How much time did you get?
I got 10 years. Well, let me tell you what happens. So they take me to, after finally I get to the county jail. Man, as soon as I get to the fucking county jail, the fucking media's outside and everybody's trying to talk to me. And "Are you sorry for what you did?" and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I went in, bro, it was the worst, because when you're a high-profile inmate that you come out in the media, they put you in a red jumper and they put you in what's called a safety cell. Because you're a high-profile inmate. They don't want you around anybody else. So they immediately, the first thing they did was give me a red jumper and put me in solitary confinement. And the next day, they woke me up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, "Hey, you got to visit." And I'm like, "Who's gonna come and visit me? I'm not expecting any visitors." And they're like, "No, you have to go." So I went out, and it was immigration. It was ICE, and they're like, "Alex, we're immigration agents, and we're here to serve you with an immigration detainer." Because I was born in Cuba. I wasn't born here. And I was such an idiot that I never got my citizenship or nothing like that. So my bond was 1.5 million. But even if I could put the bond, I couldn't bond out because I had the immigration hold. There's no bonding out with an immigration hold. No. So I was stuck, you know. And make a long story short, the prosecutor kept threatening me. I got police chiefs and mayors and congressmen and people from Tallahassee, the governor, calling for your head, and I'm gonna make an example out of you. And the only offer we got for you is 30 years. And I looked at dude and I said, 30 years, bro, you got me fucked up. Take me back to my cell, you know what I mean? So I went back to my cell. And he brought me back out 2 months later and told me, "Listen, bro, I can go as low as 20. And I'm like, "Dude, how are you gonna give me 20 years for paper, bro? For a white collar crime? 20 years? Are you serious? And he's like, bro, I'm dead serious. I'm not going any lower.
That's because you was on TV and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to make an example. You know, it's white collar. You know what I mean? It's like, hello.
No. They told me straight up. He called me without my lawyer, and he told me, we're gonna make an example out of you. Nobody's ever gonna do this again. We're gonna make sure of that. So the dude was offering me 20 years, and I was like, fucking 20 years? I'm not taking no 20 years. You're crazy. You got to take me to trial. So the dude tells me, listen, you have 120 something felonies. I'm going to take you to trial on every felony separately. What that means is you're going to get, for the first degree felony, you're going to get 10 years. 10 years.
We're
10 years.
We're going to court. You see him putting his do-rag on. Do you see it? We're going to court. He's putting his do-rag on.
So
it's so hard for me to put this shit on in this camera.
Yeah, it's getting serious now.
So when they added up the time, when I added up the time, I was gonna spend the rest of my life in prison. And I looked at the dude and I told him, listen, bro, if I take 10 years, would you work with me? He's like, man, I don't know. I'll get back to you. And he's like, and I was like, look, bro, if you give me 10, I'll take it tomorrow. And I said, you know, if you give me 10, I'll take it tomorrow. You know, I don't want to deal with it.
They ran all your shit CC.
Say it again?
They ran all your crime CC.
Yeah,
concurrent.
Yeah, they wanted to run them concurrent and give me 350 something years.
God,
So I told the dude, you know, I'll take 10, you know. Think about it. Let me know. So I went back to my cell and went to sleep. The next morning, the corrections came and got me. And I was like, where am I going? They're like, you're going to court. And I was like, all right, this dude accepted my offer. So I was like, okay. So I went to court, and sure enough, make a long story short, the media was there and this and that, and everybody was there, and the prosecutor told the judge, we've reached an agreement in this case. Mr. Peña's willing to take 10 years for everything, and 85% credit time served, this and that, and
85%.
Yeah, it was 85% back at the time. I'm gonna offer him the 10 years because he still has to deal with issues in Kansas. So, you know, Kansas still has to deal with them. So I mean, so I pleaded out to the 10 years, and while I was pleading to these 10 years, man, my body, bro, my soul wasn't in my body, bro. I was just like on robot mode, you know, especially when I had to say that I'm guilty, you know, and he's like, okay, I hereby sentence you to 10 years into the Florida Department of Corrections. I'm like, Jesus, what the fuck did I get myself into? You know what I mean? And they took me back to the cell. I asked the judge, Judge, the only thing that I'm going to ask is that you get me out of the county as quick as possible. And my attorney, my private attorney said, yeah, we need to get him out of the county because I'm bipolar. So then it's fucked up when they keep somebody bipolar in confinement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pretty terrible. And I was with a red jumper in confinement. I couldn't be an open population. So the judge ordered it in a written order, for me to be you know that usually when you get sentenced, you got to wait till the DOC comes to get you, you know, and it takes months, 2 or 3 months, whatever. The judge signed an order for them to transport me within 72 hours to the Florida Department of Corrections.
So I went to 85% back in effect now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Where?
Yeah, so
Down here in Florida.
Yeah, that was down here in Florida. So Kansas gave me 5 years running with 5 years of the Florida time. So out of the 10, I did okay. So what happened was they came and got me. The DOC came and got me. Soon as I hit Lake Butler, not Lake Butler, South Florida Reception Center. a captain was waiting for me with like 4 sergeants and like 7 officers, and they were like, "Oh, catch me if you can. We got something for you now, boy," and this and that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, it's whatever, you know. So whatever, they put me in confinement. Again, they didn't let me out in open population, because when the compound found out that I was there, everybody was like, "Oh, you know, like, you know, people are stupid, you know, they thought that shit was fun," and you know. So they transferred me from the reception center real quick to Martin Correctional, and then from Martin Correctional I ran through a couple of other prisons, and then I did 5 in Florida, and then Kansas came to pick me up, and I did 5 in Kansas. And Kansas, say it again.
They was shipping you around.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, not in Kansas. Well, in Kansas, yeah, in Kansas, I went through all the. See, because what it was is when they shipped me to Kansas, they were like, there's Hispanics up there, but it's Mexicans. There's no Cubans up there. I was the only Cuban in most of the prisons that I was in by myself. You know what I mean? I was the only Cuban there. So but it wasn't the worst time that I did was here in Florida. But in Kansas, it was super sweet, you know, and that's how I ended up.
You didn't have no tablets, did you?
No, they don't have.
You had no tablets.
Tablets.
You ain't had no tablets. They got tablets now.
No, they don't have no. They didn't have. They had.
They had no tablets, Alex.
They had some type of computer that you would get on and this and that, but So
I hope they take all them niggas shit.
Oh, stop it, King. Don't be a hater. Let them boys be in the spa. They at the spa, baby.
So the worst part about it was when I was done with my sentence, I had an immigration hold. Remember that I said that a little while ago. So I knew I wasn't going home right after I was released. When I EOS'd from Kansas, the day that I got released, they told me pack your stuff and this and that. Blah, 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 blah.
You're going too fast in the story. Tell them about while we're here. While you were in there, how did you survive? Who put you up on game? This is what the channel's about. You need to help these women. You need to help these women. Teach them the game. Come on now. Okay. Tell them why we're here.
So basically, I wasn't doing that in Florida because I was cool. I had money. I went in. I had a $20,000 cashier's check that I went in with, that I deposited into my account, that my family did. So I didn't need money. I was cool. So when I get to Kansas, I meet this old school dude who pulls up on me, and at first I thought he was gay. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because he just pulled up on me out of nowhere, and he was like, "Look, man, this is how we do things here and there, and blah, blah, blah. And I got a hustle you might be interested in, but I charge a little for it." You know what I mean? And I was like, "So what's up?" And he's like, "Listen, man, you're a good-looking dude. We're going to take some pictures of you with a tanked up on." Because at the time I was super young, or I was swole. You know what I mean?
He said, "We're going to take some pictures of you."
Yeah, we're gonna take some pictures of you.
Hold on, wait a minute. What kind of fucking pictures we taking, man?
No,
that's why he thought he was gay. Didn't you hear the story? That's why he thought I was doing the picture taking.
I'm thinking this dude is trying to finagle me into some shit. So the dude's like, you know, we're gonna take some pictures of you, and we're gonna put you on multiple pen pal sites. Now I know you're a straight dude, but you're gonna get a lot of gays, more gays than women. Those are the ones you want, because those are the ones that'll do whatever you want and send you whatever amount of money. Women, you're gonna get too. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. So I was just
let the show begin. You got 10 years to perfect your craft.
So basically, what I would do is I would go to the law library. My hustle was to go to the law library. Okay, so once I got on these sites, I started getting mad letters. mad letters. I mean, because people knew, some people didn't know, but other people had seen me on TV. So they were sending me letters of encouragement and this and that with money in it, money orders in it, and this and that, blah blah blah. And what was I gonna say? So I was giving this dude a cut. So he puts me on all these websites, and I'm getting all these
fan mail. Let's call it fan mail.
All this fan mail, and call me. Here's my phone number. This and that, and blah blah blah. So to make a long story short, I dropped I picked, out of the people that wrote me who had the most potential. So one thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't pick a female if she had kids.
You said you wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. If she had kids, I wouldn't finagle her, because I really can't explain to you the reason why I wouldn't. I mean, I guess it's because of the kids, you know what I mean? The money that I'm taking from her, the kids need it, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna scam nobody that needs money. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't scam people like that. Females like that, I wouldn't scam. Now, gays, I didn't give a fuck, because,
I'm gonna cut your throat. I'm gonna cut you.
Listen,
I'm gonna cut you.
I didn't give a fuck.
I'm gonna cut you, bitch.
But you know what I'm talking about. So
I'm gonna cut your ass.
So that's what happened, I focused on 3 people. One was a guy, and the other 2 were females. The guy used to go visit me and everything. You know what I mean?
He used to come see you?
Yeah, he used to call. He used to fly from Miami all the way to Kansas to see me, because he liked me. You know what I'm saying? I would sell him dreams. I would go to the law library and
sell him dreams. Nightmare selling dreams. Lord have mercy.
I would get different books, and I would incorporate love shit from the books with my own shit and mix it in together to make a fabulous letter.
See why we needed him on the chat?
I'm telling you.
Now we got to the good part.
The thing was, I was that fabulous book that they used to write these fabulous letters to them women that they give a fuck about.
So my hustle was to go to the law library. The brothers, the kings, would leave me alone. You know what I mean? They wouldn't bother me. I would help them. Because I became a paralegal in prison also. So I would help people with, with their legal work and stuff. So people wouldn't bother me. They would just let me do my own thing, because they knew I was shot out. So I focused on these 3 people. So the dude, nothing sexual or nothing, man. The guy was super cool, man. The first letter he wrote me was like, look, man, I saw you on TV. I understand you're all the way in Kansas, and I know you don't have many people. And if you could use a friend, you want to write me back. And I'm like, boom, I got you.
A
so
friend.
I wrote him back, and the second female had her dad owned a bunch of farms. And the third person who was a female also, was what did she do? She was below a doctor. I think it's a nurse practitioner, and she was single. You know what I mean? She was single. So I wouldn't ask him for money, to be honest. I wouldn't ask him for money. Remember, I have my own money. So I wouldn't ask them for money, but they would insist. You know what I mean? They would tell me, hey, I know how it is in there. Can I send you $100, $200, this and that? I'm like, nah, it's all good. So you reject them 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Tell him to hustle now. Teach him to hustle now. Come on. That's why I got you on the channel.
I've been saying this.
But that's why I brought him on the channel, because I told you a real motherfucker, but people want to think you're crazy. Well, here it is. This is why I'm bringing him on, because he needs to teach these women, do not get married, Don't put a ring on it yet. He's not out of prison yet. Keep going, Alec.
So what happens is the dude told me, look, man, I'm not interested in anything sexual, or nothing like that. And
Oh yeah, I'm not interested in nothing sexual.
No. Listen, listen. He was serious at that time. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So I
You've been around me long enough. You should know that motherfucker wanted something. Come on now.
Every
Want
time.
that old sausage.
So
Extra meat, baby. Extra meat at Chipotle. Let's go grocery shopping.
So check before I forget, man. I'm old, man. I'm not that young.
You're old and you're burnt out. You smoke too much motherfucking weed. You're still smoking.
So listen, so I focus on this. So the dude comes to see me all the time, and I reject all these people every time they offer me money. I tell him, no, I don't need it. I'm good. Boom, boom, boom. Finally, after rejecting him 3 or 4 times, you tell him, damn, something, my money didn't come in. Can you send me $50?
Yeah, you hit him with the okie doke.
And are you sure you need 50? Do you need more? No, I'm good with 50. So you start, little by little, you know what I mean?
Start low and work up high.
50 turns into 100. Like the dude, I would finagle him like hardcore. Like I would get on the phone with this dude. Like I had a gambling addiction. I would gamble. I would gamble on football games a lot of money. I'm talking about real cash money, not no bullshit commissary. I'm gonna pay you in eight ramen noodles and 4 honey buns.
Yeah, and by the way, $100 back then was good commissary. Remember we were talking about that, King? The ramen noodle soup for 25 cents. Now, yeah, and the mackerels were $1.25.
So I said to myself, let me see how far I can push this dude. So listen. So what happens is
you will push the dude.
I get on the phone and I call dude and I tell him that I found a lawyer that can help me with my appeal, but it's gonna cost too much money and I don't know how I'm gonna come up with the money. The dude was like, without even thinking twice, he was like, how much do you need? How much is the lawyer charging you? And I'm like, $2,500. He's like, check the computer in 2 days. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, just check the computer in 2 days. And he's like, so how are you doing? He changed the conversation, whatever. And we talked for a little while. And I told him, hey, I got to go. It's count time. Boom. 2 days later, the $2,500 were in my account.
Damn.
So whatever I wanted, whatever books, he would buy me 10 books at a time and send them. He bought me a gold chain that nobody in that prison was even allowed to, but I paid the chaplain off to sign off on it. And pretty much, with the females, it was the same thing. I just told them all that I was going to move in with them and live with them when I got out and this and that. And,
So
they would come visit me.
A nightmare. He's a nightmare selling dreams, honey.
I would have to switch my visit. I would have to lie to these people because the 2 females also started to go visit me. So I would have to make sure nobody would ever run into each other. So I would have to lie to one of them on the phone. Hey, I'm in the hole. Don't come this weekend, so the other person can come. So basically, and it's crazy, because and it was. And to be honest, I didn't even need the money, and a lot of the times I didn't even ask for it. They would just send it, so I would be all right, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I was finagling them because I was telling them, look, as soon as I get out, you're going to come pick me up and blah, blah, blah. We're going to get a house and this and that. So it's like they thought we were basically married, you know what I mean? The females, the dude wasn't on that tip. Well, the dude wanted to get me an apartment when I got out. He didn't want me to go live with him because he knew I need to live alone. But that's basically, how.
Yeah, that's right, Jasmine. Nightmare selling sweet dreams, baby. Putting people to sleep. That's
But
what they say.
here's the thing about that, and here's the crazy part about it, right? The, karma, right? The word karma.
Mm-hmm. Speak it.
So here it is. So all this shit that I've done to all these females and all these people in my past, like, okay, let me just focus on the females. All this stuff that I've done to these females in the past, the karma hasn't really hit me.
Yeah.
It has hit my mom.
Mm.
Speak it.
Because what happens is, somehow, some way, since I took advantage of these people, of these females, the men that come into my mom's lives, she doesn't last with somebody. It's like she's cursed, you know what I mean? She can't last with a man. It's like she's destined to be alone. So I went to a santero, which is a santeria, you know,
Yeah, the African religion.
African religion. And the santero basically told me that because of all the stuff that I have done, the karma is going to my mom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so because I've hurt so many women in my past, the men that my mom is meeting are doing the same thing to her, but in a different way.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Do I make sense? Does it
Yeah,
sound crazy?
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I thought about it, you know, and I was like, you know, I mean, I'm not doing this no more. I can't, you know, when I get out, I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do and start all over. If they don't deport me, because remember, immigration went and got
You
me.
ain't going nowhere, child.
No, I know they can't deport me. They don't deport Cubans.
He
But,
said they can't afford me.
But,
He ain't going nowhere.
but yeah, basically that's pretty much my story. I mean,
So
there's more.
basically, you're on here and you want to what? Apologize to these people, right? Make this
No.
shit right.
Well, of course, because I mean, believe it or
Because
not,
you're a good person. You're not an asshole. I mean, a
well,
nightmare, but not an asshole.
well, here's the thing.
They said what happened to the girl, your girlfriend? What happened?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I took the case. Nothing happened to her. I took the case for her.
Oh, you took the case for her?
Yeah, I made a deal with the feds, and I told them, if you don't prosecute her, I'll take it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't prosecute her. And they were like, all right, you know, we didn't really want her in the first place. We wanted to get
No.
you off the street. So, you know, and you know what? She never sent me a penny, never sent me a letter, never went to see me. When I got out, after immigration let me go, she found out that I got out. I don't know how, and she showed up to my house, and I kicked her out of the. She knocked on the door, and I told her to leave, and she didn't want to leave. She wanted to talk to me. She wanted to apologize. She started crying. I slammed the door in her face. She kicked the door. Some neighbor called the cops. The cops came, and I'm like, holy shit, I just left immigration. And then she lied to the cop and told the cop that I tried to hit her and this and that. And I looked at the cop and I said, look, man, I just got out of immigration. My name is so-and-so. And he's like, oh, man, you're that dude from TV, bro, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah. And she's my co-defendant, and I don't want her around here, man. I don't, you know, I did my time, and I don't want nothing to do with her. All of a sudden, she wants to come to my property now. You know what I mean? So the cop was like, good, you want her out of here? Yeah, we'll get her out of here. So the cop talked to her and told her, get out of here. Don't mess with this dude. You know what I mean? This dude is on another level now. He's got to get accustomed to the streets. Don't pull no triggers on him or nothing and come by here, especially if you took the time for, you know, because I told the cop, look, man, I took the time for this female.
As you should, as a man should.
You know, and basically that's what happened, you know. And here I am, you know. Luckily, I made it.
Nah,
Yeah.
you really got blessed.
But
They could have booked your ass.
yeah. No, and you know, and you know, you personally and Julio also knows it. Is certain things you go through in there. It's like you're sane in the street. When you're in the street, you're sane. But once you go to prison, you have to turn yourself into an insane person to survive. Because
you can't
anything,
just turn that shit off when you get out.
right? You gotta turn yourself off and forget about the streets and focus. This is my home. This is it. Nothing else matters. It's whatever.
It's survival.
You know what I mean?
There's never a moment of peace. Like when we get off this chat, I'm here in my house by myself. I turn the lights off. I can watch TV. My mind can think. I don't have to talk to anybody. In there, you're surrounded by people 24 hours a day. There's a motherfucker that sleeps on top of you that you don't have sex with this person, or you could have sex with them in my case, but you don't. Because it's the truth. It's either, if I have a monkey that's like King, we ain't gonna have sex, but the motherfucker gonna talk in the middle of the night. We gonna vibe, talk, something. You know what I'm saying? If he wants to talk, what am I gonna say? Oh, I'll shut up. I want to go to sleep. You kind of like your bunkie and you have to vibe. You have to vibe. It's your cell, and I gotta make sure that nobody comes into our cell to take nothing from us, and he has to do the same thing because. If you taking a soup from me, that's a soup that I could have given you in the middle of the night because you're hungry. So if they steal from me, they're stealing from you. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes like an insanity world. They stick it with somebody you don't even know if you're gonna match or not.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No. Now that you touch base on it, check this out. Here's the crazy part. When I get to Kansas and I get to the Kansas Processing Center, they process me and everything, and the prison that processes you has 5 people per cell. It's got 5 bunk beds. It's 5 people.
Damn.
It's 5 people in one cell. So they stick me in this cell with 4.
I don't like that.
Listen, they stick
gang bang me? No.
Bro, listen to me. Let me finish, man, because it's late. Listen. So they us old people gotta sleep early, man. So so what happens is they stick me in this cell with these 4 brothers, with these 4 black people. With these 4 big ass dudes, big ass country dudes. And I'm looking around the cell and they all stand up from the bunks as soon as I come in and I put my property down. And I'm looking at these dudes and I said, oh man, they've set me up to kill me. Because when I look at every dude had the Star of David, and there were gangster disciples, all 4 of them. And I'm a Latin king with a 5-point crown in my leg. So they stuck me in a cell with 4 gangster disciples. And I put my property down and I said, listen, man, I don't rap too much. I don't talk too much. I'm a Latin king. I'm always going to represent my nation. I'm always going to be a king, and it's whatever. If you guys want to start it up, let's start it up now.
Oh, shit.
And whatever, it's whatever, man, And one of the GDs started laughing. He said, man, you got some balls, man. And I said, man, it is what it is, man. Either we gonna vibe or we gonna die. One of the two. And they were like, nah, man, ain't no need for that, man. We don't get down like that. Where you come from? And I said, Florida. And they said, nah, man, we do time different up here. Up here, we all vibe together. And they was like, matter of fact, you smoke? And I said, smoke what? And he said, come on, man. And I said, yeah, hell yeah. And dude pulled out a big-ass bag of weed, rolled like 3 joints. And we spent the whole night talking and vibing and smoking. And and I was afraid, I'm not going to lie, I was afraid to go to bed. Because I'm thinking, damn, as soon as I close my eyes, these dudes,
I would have been afraid too, honey. 4 big black men and me in the cell by myself. Lord Jesus. I would have woke up with a sore booty.
You would not have been afraid.
Amber, 1 black man is enough to be afraid. 4 of them? Child, please. They would have left me with no groceries, baby. Lord have mercy.
Hey, Jules, you're a nut, man. I don't know how you
What?
survived in prison, man.
Oh, honey, they loved me.
No, I know.
But
So listen, so anyways, I woke up in the morning and I opened up my eyes and the dudes were still sleeping. one of them was making coffee. He was like, "Hey, King, you want a cup of coffee?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man." And
Nina said bags empty. Yeah, you better believe I would have had bags empty.
so we was vibing. You know what I mean? We was chilling. You know, and I went out to the yard, and
Don't cry. Yeah.
when I went out to the yard, I tried to give. I got these spider webs in my arms, so I just got them because I like them. But in prison, for the white supremacist gangs and for the Aryan Brotherhood, it's one of their symbols. So it's my first time in this yard in this maximum security prison. Oh, because my whole bid, I did maximum security, close custody, because of the immigration detainer. I never saw medium custody, minimum, nothing, none of that. Halfway house, none of that. Maximum security at all times, close custody. I can show you the paperwork. Jules has seen it. So,
You still showing paperwork out here? Come on now, Alex. I don't need to see no paperwork.
no, but you know,
Like he's just in the yard or something.
Yeah, you heard him. I'll show you the paper. King, he's gonna show you paperwork out in the free world.
Hey, I had a
Lord, I tell you.
Hey, I had to relapse. So what happened was I go out to the yard, and I'm just walking around the yard real quick. This gonna be real quick, so you guys can laugh. So I get to the yard, and I'm walking around the yard by myself, and this white dude, big old white dude, 6'5", 280 pounds, pulls up on me and says, "Welcome, brother." And I'm like, I didn't even say nothing to him. I didn't even speak. I just nodded at him, and he's like, "You mind if I talk to you for a little while?" And I'm like, "I'll listen." So we're walking the track, and this dude is telling me, "You know us Peckerwoods got to stay together." And you know,
Not Peckerwood.
listen, bro. Dude's like, "You know us Peckerwoods and us white people got to stick together, and we got to stay away from the blacks and the Mexicans and the Latinos, and we're Aryan Brotherhood and blah, 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 and you look like a good prospect, and you already got the spider web on your arm, and blah, 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 blah." So I'm listening to this dude like, this dude is fucking nuts. And all of a sudden, this Mexican, an MS-13 that I was with in the diagnostic center where I got processing cancers, was with me. They happened to transfer him to the same prison that I was in. So he's in the yard, and he sees me talking to the white dude from far away. So he, he came up to me to make sure that I was all right. You know what I mean? So he pulled up on me in and spoke to me in Spanish. And he said, "Órale, Cubita, what's up?" And I said, "Que hola, mi hermano," which means, "What's up, my brother?" So the Aryan Brotherhood dude, his eyes got real fucking wide. And he said, "What the fuck? You mean you speak Spanish?"
Oh.
And I'm like, you know what, bro? That's what big ignorant brings you. I'm fucking Cuban, bro. What the fuck is a Cuban?
Yeah, because Alex is bald head. He's wearing a hat now, but Alex is bald with spider web, so they automatically thought he was a white boy.
Yeah, they thought I was a white boy because I didn't have a tan. So I'm like, bro, I'm Spanish, bro. And besides, I'm a Latin king. You ever heard of the Kings? And he said, yeah, we're familiar with the Kings. And he was like, "All right, man, I apologize, man. And I was like, "It's all good, man. Shit happens." And me and the Mexican just busted out laughing, man. That's all we could do is laugh, man.
Said, "What the fuck you broke? I thought you was
this motherfucker trying to recruit Aryan Brotherhood and all sorts of crazy shit."
Hey, that Aryan Brotherhood, they be serious with that shit down there.
Yeah,
Funny, they're in the cornfields, baby.
Well,
in Kansas. Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Bro, listen, they sent me to this prison that's on the border of Nebraska. You can Google it. It's called the Norton Correctional Center, Norton Correctional Facility. So I get there, and as soon as I get there, this big old redneck is the one that processed me. And when he's taking me to my unit, he stops in front of a tree, a big ass tree. And he looks at me, and he looks up at the tree, and he says, "You know what? If it was up to us, we'd hang your ass."
Oh, what? They were gonna hang him, King.
Listen. So I'm in shock. So
Was he chewing tobacco? Was he
No.
chewing tobacco?
Yeah, they chew that shit. So I'm in shock. So all of a
He's talking about,
sudden,
yeah, you know they do that shit.
man,
They do.
I shut the fuck up and I let this dude take me to the unit. I got on the phone. I called my mom. I told my mom,
I'm not in Kansas anymore.
I told my mom, you need to get a hold of my attorney and tell that motherfucker to get me out of this prison within the next 72 hours. If not, I'm gonna send some people to his office, and he knows what I'm talking about. And the dude got me the transfer. I think he charged me like $2,000, but he got me to he got me shipped to a better prison where I was the only Hispanic there. Everybody else was white. The only Hispanic there, the only one. They didn't even know what a Cuban was. They didn't even know what a dude didn't. The people that worked there didn't even know Cuba exists.
That's crazy.
That's redneck land, baby. You ain't in Kansas no more, Dorothy.
Worse than the Panhandle over here in Florida. 100 times worse. Those people are the real deal up there.
And they had no tablets.
No.
Yeah.
All these tablets.
Because that's when prison was prison, baby.
Hey, but on a serious note, man, you know, to all the females that are listening, you know, just get to know the dude for real, man, and don't give up your money so easily like that. You know what I mean? Dude should be trying to help you. You know, I helped my family when I was in prison. I helped my friends when I was in prison, and I'm in prison sending money.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Didn't I tell you he was cool, Amber?
Yeah.
Amber, didn't I tell you he was cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nightmare, but he's got a good heart. He's like King. That's why when I saw King first started talking his shit on prison wives, I said, let me see what this dude's about. And then when I saw him, I said, oh please, this motherfucker, he's fine, he good. I know what he's about, and that's why I came on the show, because I can see the good in him. He's all about, you know, clickbait. Prison wives.
Demon.
Oh, please. Yeah, okay. We're going to start another one. Prison gays.
Hey, that's your show. We're going to put you on that shit.
No, there ain't nobody want to see me. Everybody want to see my old ass.
Go do that shit. I'm going to repost that shit.
Please. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. You're an expert at this. I need to go over there. You need to hold the camera. Jules, now you got to dance like this. How you be dancing? And all them songs. Prison gays.
Show us how you
dance. Up, Jules. Tell me how you
That's how you dance.
Yeah, I'm like, Lord have mercy. Shit.
You be watching videos too?
I be clicking on TikTok. Your ass be coming out. I'm like, Lord, there goes this fool again. And you know my kids, Alex knows my kids. They're driving me crazy with the prison wives. All day long, they're screaming in the house, prison wives, prison wives. I'm like, Isaac, shut up. And then you called Isaac Nick. Oh my God, that's his new nickname now. Now we got to call him Nick, for God's sakes. Just because you gave him that stupid name, now he be going around, my name's not Isaac, my name is Nick. I'm like, oh Lord. This fool baptized my child Nick. Lord have mercy.
That little bastard, every time he sees me, he looks at me and he tells me, you're going.
He tells you,
yeah, man. Hey, every time he sees me, he's got the habit of, because what is it? How is it that he does, Julio?
Oh, he tells you that you're ruined because since his uncle's in prison and his uncle calls on the phone, we be making fun of Andrew, telling him you're ruined. Oh, and so Andrew's counting the days. He said, wait until I get out. In 75 days, when they're sleeping here, Andrew said he's gonna wake him up from a dead sleep and say, you're ruined, and grab him up right out of his sleep. He said he's gonna get back, honey. Yeah, we be falling out laughing, honey.
So what happened was I lost my phone and I went to Julio's house to ask Julio to get me another phone that I'll pay him when I get a little bit of money. So Julio got me the phone and the little boy was there and he looked at me. He said, you lost your phone? I said, yeah, man, I lost my phone. He said, you're ruined. I'm like, you little bastard.
Yeah.
But they're good kids, though.
Well, they better be. I take care of them. Shit.
But anyways, listen, it's getting a little bit late for me. I
Yes,
would
sir.
hate to get off. I would like to keep talking to you guys, but I want to say one last thing before I go. I appreciate you guys.
We
Ambi,
appreciate
King,
you.
King, blessings, bro. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, man. I really, really appreciate it. I'm following you on I'm following both of you
TikTok?
on TikTok. Yeah, sir, catch me if you can.
Okay.
Catch me if you can.
Sir,
Yeah.
catch me if you can.
Well,
Sir,
that's
catch me if you can.
That's what the police labeled me, the catch me if you can bandit.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. It was good having you. And we look forward to hearing from you
I'm
again.
gonna lay my ass down.
Hey,
This was like I tell him, this was free therapy for him.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. I've never really talked about this with
Ever. He's never talked about it. And now he's talked about it in front of thousands of people, and he's helping people out. He's helping women out. This is what he needs to do. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for coming on, Alex.
Listen.
And Jules, thank you for introducing us to him. We appreciate you as always, my love.
Love you.
Love you.
Hey, Amber, can I say one more thing?
Yes, sir.
Listen, and to the females that are still listening, what was I gonna say?
Lord, is that weed?
That what? No.
The weed got you fried.
No, it doesn't have me fried. It's just I want to say it the right way. It's a lot of dudes in prison. Remember, we have all the time in the world. Like me, for example, I studied every religion there is.
Facts.
Because I'm a voracious reader. So I've studied every religion there is. I've read from the 48 Laws of Power to the 33 Strategics of War to the Art of War to Machiavelli to all of that. There's dudes in there that do this all day. And they fuck you up in your mind. They're mind fuckers. They literally they will literally fucking make you mortgage their house for you to send them money.
Facts.
Tell him, Alex.
You know, and it's the truth. It's the honest truth. They'll send you a letter that they didn't even write.
King was the writer. King was the author.
In the beginning, I was paying dudes to write the letters for me.
Telling y'all, I'm trying to tell them, hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't believe none of they ass in there until you get out. Until you get out. That shit in there, that shit is a fairy tale. I keep telling them.
Ain't no telling what a motherfucker in prison will come up with, man. Hey, King, is it real or not?
No, they said I was bashing them. I told them that shit is not real. I don't know why they think that's real. I don't believe it.
So listen, I got an idea for you. Next topic, I like to get into a topic that how straight dudes survive in prison without having to have sex with a gay person or somebody like that. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So basically the reason why I'm saying that is because there's guys that choose to go that route. I never went that route. The route
I always went that route. That was my favorite road.
The route that I took was I would pay a nurse's all her bills, or pull a correctional officer and pay all her bills. In Kansas, I had a cell phone. I had the latest cell phone. I had a gold chain. Nobody was allowed to have a gold chain. I had a gold chain with a huge crown.
Yes.
You know, so it's like different, you know. But anyways, blessings to everybody. Have a good night. It was a pleasure. King, much love. Julio, much love. Abby, much love.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.